Stop hoping for your business to grow and start mastering the formula for success that every entrepreneur needs to grow their business. Join us for 5+1 Mastery, where every week we go in depth on how to grow your business the right way. Learn more at 5+1mastery.com.
And I would tell you right now, you're listening, if you are hungry enough and passionate enough about being successful, it will become easy for you, because that energy, that positive energy, people will pick up and want to give you more of it.
I'm your host, Chaz Wilson. I bring you successful entrepreneurs, add valuable wisdom to your journey, and help you succeed. Welcome to Connect, Share, and Prosper.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Connect, Share, Prosper. I'm your host, Chaz Wilson. I'm so excited to be with you today and share another great episode of this podcast where we're going to learn a ton of things and some great wisdom. And as you guys know, every Monday, noon central, on the Master Network's Facebook page, I'll bring you successful entrepreneurs they're going to share the ups, the downs, the ins, the outs, the successes, and the struggles. And so make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you can get updated as soon as we go live every Monday. And so today will be no different than any others in the sense that I'm bringing you another great story and a great successful person to share with you today. So my guest is Debbie Allen. She's a certified speaking professional. She's one of the top professional business speakers worldwide. She's been a professional speaker for over 25 years, presented before thousands of people in 28 countries around the world. She speaks for a diverse group of franchises, direct sales, associations, and business conferences worldwide. And Debbie has been an entrepreneur and business owner since she was 19 and has built and sold numerous multi-million-dollar companies in diverse industries. She is also a best-selling author of 9 books, including The Highly Paid Expert and Success is Easy, and a VIP contributor and a featured business mentor for Entrepreneur Magazine. Help me welcome today to Connect, Share, Prosper, Debbie Allen. Thank you and welcome to our show.
Great to be here, Chaz, as always, yes.
I'm excited for this. You and I met recently, and I was on your show, your podcast, and I was like, and then, got your book here, which I see over your shoulder, but I've got a copy here, Success is Easy, which we'll talk about in a second. But Debbie, I'm reading through it as I've gotten to know you. You've been a business owner since 19 years old.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm curious, what was your first business?
My first business, I got into business with my family. It was a car rental business outside of Gary, Indiana, a tough place to be from, It was like the number one place in the country where there was the most car theft. So it made sense, to open up a car rental business. But the thing is that my parents started that, later in life. They weren't entrepreneurs, but there was something in me that always wanted to be a business owner. So when I got into the business, my brother had already bought into the business through another opportunity. So I was sitting there going, wait, I want to buy into the business too. And so at 19, I said, can I buy into the business? And we made a deal. And every week my paycheck went to buying in that business. And even at that age, I knew that I wanted to do more than just collect a paycheck. I knew that if I was really involved and it was my business, that I was going to do more. I was going to learn more from it. And I actually did learn more from it. Like in my 20s, I was doing things in business I would never have imagined.
Yeah.
Just like, when you didn't know you couldn't fail, you just keep going.
For sure. Yeah, I totally get it. And so I wanted to just mention something you talked about, because I think there's a principle there that sometimes gets lost. I mean, you said that when you started and you struck a deal to be able to purchase part of the business, but you were working and your paycheck was going to that purchase. And so often, like people, there's this earned and deserved right that it wasn't given to you. You had to earn it and deserve it all along the way.
Right. And it was always that way with my family. And I look back and I say that was a gift, that I was never given a car. Even though my dad would have 200 cars on his lot. I'm like, why can't you just give me a car?
Yeah.
You have to earn it. You have to work for it. And I'm really, glad that I learned that. So, learning in the family business and a really tough business was a great environment to grow up, because, when I wrote this book, Success is Easy, it's basically, a combination of all my life's work that, I've really been thrown into so many things knowing nothing. It was just like I had more of a passion or excitement to do something than I had the idea and the money. And I really wanted to share that with people, to say it's easier than you think that it is. And you don't have to know the how. You don't have to, have all the things you think all the ducks in a row before you start. And that, Chaz, because I know your story too. And sometimes it just goes and you flow and you reinvent and you reinvest in your business and you reinvest in yourself. And then the next thing you know, you turn around and go, wow, look what I've done. But it's just a process because you're enjoying it so much.
Yeah. So I definitely want to get into the Success is Easy book. There's some things in here I want to maybe, dive into, challenge some thought and help our audience with that today. So before we get there though, so after you leave the car rental business, because at some point you make a transition out of that, what did you leave to do and why, and how did that work?
Well, I always love hearing how people transition to a business. Like, how'd you get started in that business? How'd you learn about that? I love hearing those stories because sometimes it's just we're looking for that opportunity, and space allows us this opportunity to say, look around. And right now we're in a place where there's a lot of space.
Yes.
Look around, pay attention to what you want to do, what you want, and go for it. And so, I wanted to leave the family business because I wanted to own my own business. I wanted to make 100% of my own decisions. Well, Chaz, you know what happens there. You also make 100% of your own mistakes.
Oh, for sure.
Along with it. But I figured that out later. And I never attended a day of college. I was like right out of high school into the family business. I wasn't even a great student in high school. It's just like I was smart about learning what I wanted to learn, and I happened to love business from a very early age. So I bought a business that had lost money for 6 years. So what do people tell you when you buy a business that's lost? You're crazy.
Wrong.
You're right.
Right.
You're crazy. And I think every entrepreneur needs to know they're being told they're crazy at some time in their life, because I know you have been told that.
Oh, yeah, many times. Probably this morning, too.
It's a good it's a good thing, right? And so, I bought that business and I didn't know how to do it. And again, the how is none of your business. Success will come to you. If you really want it, you look around. There's a lot of successful people that will help you if you're enthusiastic. And I was a sponge to learn. I wanted to learn. And I got invited into this group of retailers that had 15 to 30 years experience when I had 6 months experience. And I took my business from $100,000 a year to $2.5 million a year.
Wow.
Within less than 3 years, and multiple stores that I kept building and selling stores, because I believe entrepreneurs they either build to sell or they build to magnify. And so I was doing both. I was building to sell and it's magnifying.
So do you attribute some of that success there to that group of those people that were helping you? Yeah,
definitely. And we talked about that with you, Chaz, like your mentors that shape your life. You can't do it all by yourself. You have to be part of something else. And Masters Network is a great thing with that. They're part of something, a collaboration. One idea somebody can tell you, one opportunity that somebody smarter than you or get invited into, have a mentor early in life. And that's what, and I was a sponge to learn. I just implemented everything they said. I mean, really, success is easy. Find somebody that's already doing it, follow the steps, let them guide you, be coachable, and it's easy. Like, they've already been there.
I want to jump into this because let's get right to the title of this book, because I know there's going to be somebody listening that says, okay, success is easy. Catchy title. Right? It's going to get people to pick it up because you're saying success is easy when everyone else is pretty much saying, no, it's not. And for somebody who feels like success has been a struggle for them, how dare somebody like Debbie say success is easy? So why is success easy? Why make a statement? Is it just a title to get somebody to pick up the book? Or is it something where success truly is easy, and how so?
Well, look around. I mean, success is everywhere. You can go on the internet now. You can be on YouTube. You can learn anything. You can go to seminars. You can join a group like yours and be around other people. And, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You're just starting in business. You don't know anything. You'll be invited into a group. I mean, it's surrounding you. Success is surrounding you. But it's easier for people to pick up on negativity. And unfortunately, we learn mindset that's saying success is hard. You have to work hard. You have to earn everything you get. And, yes, there are challenges along the way. There are obstacles. But when you're doing the right thing, it flows to you. Opportunities flow to you. And it becomes almost shocking after a while, because, you get one little success step and another, and, little baby success step and they start getting bigger and bigger. But again, it was like every career, it just hit me one night. I've been trying, Chaz, I worked on trying to get a title for this book because I had a major publisher. I was sitting there, but my agent kept going, no, it's not edgy enough. It's not different enough. And then I woke up and, when you're half asleep and you got those brilliant ideas, sometimes they are.
Right.
And I said, this is the title. Really, success has been easy for me, even though I had to learn everything. Every career I have moved to, every reinvention when I've been in a challenge in business, I came out on the other side and it was easy. You forget about the challenge when you're on the other side. But when you get on the other side, you can say, yeah, that was easy. I was guided in some way. Sometimes you take your own knowledge and you make the right decisions. But when you don't have that, I was just guided from other people. And when I had those mentors so early in life, I was 30 years old when I left the family business and not knowing, worked one day in retail and I'm buying a retail store. And then my enthusiasm, my passion just made them want to help me. And I think that successful people want to help other people.
I agree with that.
It was me. I wanted to be a mentor. I didn't know that time. I wanted to be a consultant, a mentor, a speaker, because I felt that I had been gifted those things. But I was looking for them too. I mean, they're gifted to all of you. Everybody listening here, I'm no special than anybody else. Like I said, I barely got through high school. I grew up in a tough environment. I did all those, those obstacle things too, but I was hungry enough. And I would tell you right now, you're listening, if you are hungry enough and passionate enough about being successful, it will become easy for you, because that energy, that positive energy, people will pick up and want to give you more of it. Negative energy pushes it away. So if you believe that success is hard and I don't have opportunities like other people, what's going to happen? You're going to manifest that. And, I'm not a woo-woo kind of person, but I'll tell you, my manifestation powers are pretty powerful, just because through marketing and the things that I do, you have to put some energy out there to manifest.
I agree with that.
But it happens.
Yeah, I think sometimes in business, in the business world and success, as you said, I used to kind of think some of that was just a little bit nonsense of, but the more that I've established and grown myself, I've understood that my intentions, my mindset that go into my intentions really drive that behavior, that energy, everything. I mean, for somebody listening to that who thinks, oh, here we go, it's another mindset discussion. Well, that right there tells you you're not in the right spot and you have to fix it. Because if you're already going, oh, it's another mindset discussion, because I would challenge somebody listening, think about the last discussion you had that was maybe a really crucial conversation, something that needed to happen, that you needed to have that sort of collision, that conflict resolution, whatever it is. And the energy you took to that call, the odds are that's how the outcome came. So if you thought, what, I think we can get resolved, we can get resolution, and you did, or this is just going to be, terrible, rough, hard, and it was, that's because that's the mindset and the intention you actually took into that call. So if we know that's the case, we have to really get clear about the intentions and the success we desire, and not say it's not for me, it's for someone else. So I want to ask you, Debbie, how throughout this journey, whether you didn't have all the answers per se, but how clear were you? How did clarity come in for you of who you are and what you wanted along the way?
Yeah, that plays a big part, Chaz, and that too, that visioning, just like have that mind of like going, okay, this is what I'd like to accomplish. The vision starts in your mind. Sometimes you can sketch it out, but when you get good at visioning, you don't even have to even do that. You just go, you have to know where you want to be. One of the first questions I ask you, and all your listeners here, I'll ask them the same question. Where do you see yourself and your business 1 year from now? Where do you see yourself? So what kind of clients do you have? What does it look like day to day? How much money do you have coming into you?
Like, how clear can you describe it is what you're saying? Like how much clarity around when you say see it, can I literally just describe it for you? That's what you're saying?
So what clients come to me, they go, okay, I want this. I want to have a business like you. I want to be a speaker like you. I want to be an author like you, or whatever. Let's say they have a client like I have a client like that. And okay, well, you're at right now. Okay, so let's look at your vision. That's a great vision. Or I want to have $1 million. Well, that's great. You're making $50,000 a year right now. Okay, give me a few years for that.
Yeah,
but
right.
Let's put a plan together, right? So you have to be realistic with it too. But you have to be able to see a vision and then make it realistic. So maybe the vision's so big that you need to bring it in just a little bit for realistic. As we're talking about 1 year, based on where you're at right now, where would you be 1 year from now if you up-leveled what you're doing and you started thinking that success is easy? You started hanging around more successful people. And that's what Master Network is all about, is hanging around more successful people, sharing your ideas. Yeah. You're not an island. You're not an island by yourself.
Do you think that lack of clarity, Debbie, that lack of clarity is what stopped, like, that not knowing what that looks like from 1 year from now is really what stops people from moving forward. And that hence I'm just going through the motions because I'm just doing activities and I don't know the destination I'm looking to get towards. Do you think that is one of the, to success is easy? That's one of the biggest starting obstacles of where people get hung up?
Well, yes, because one of the chapters early in the book is define your own success. And I think they get hung up because they're looking at other people and saying, well, that means success and that means success. And I'm not really successful, but maybe you are successful, but you're yourself wrong, right?
Yeah.
Everybody can be successful at different levels. So you got to stop judging yourself against everybody else and say, what makes you feel successful?
Right.
And that means partly money, but partly, are you making a difference in the world? What are you doing every day that you love? I mean, if you have a career that you love and making a difference in people's lives, you're successful. But you have to define it very clearly for yourself. And I think that's the first step. When you define it for yourself, what success truly means for you, and then you make that vision. So it's not like I want $1 million because I think that's the thing to say.
Yeah, right.
I want it because I had planned for that. But I think that's the biggest thing is define your own success. People don't tell you this either. They don't tell you success is easy and that you have to define your own success to be truly successful. Because I know people that are very wealthy and very successful and they don't feel like it. They're always feeling like I should be doing more. They're always stressed out. And is that a real success life? If you shouldn't be, you should feel comfortable with the success and the life that you've created. That's truly success in my book.
Yeah, because if you never define it, how do you know when you get there?
Exactly.
Right, because that's why that feeling of always chasing. But I think there's another side to this too. I'd love your opinion on this. Do you find that it's almost a simultaneous thought that when you say, hey, tell me about what it looks like in a year from now, that even before the answers come out of their mouth, they're already trying to figure out, how do I get there? And because they can't answer how I make that happen, they start to pull that vision back to what they think they know they can do. Meaning, if I've never made, say, I'm just using it as an example, I've never made $1 million as a let's say a descriptive of what I want a year to look like. That might be the first thought, like that's what I really want. But because I don't know how to do it, I don't even say that. I say, well, I'd really like to make $200,000 next year, because I'm already trying to go to how do I make that happen? Like I've already started to put those barriers up. Do you see that in people when they start describing?
And then you use the key word, how. The how is none of your business, right? I already said it. The how is none of your business. If you truly want it, you will find the steps to get there. But, and you also need to know that success isn't just money. Success is a feeling, it's an emotion, it's a mindset. There's so many things that success means. It's such a broad term.
Yes.
And so you can take it however you want to take it, right? But money is a part of it. I think the number one thing that drives me is I want to be successful to show people what they can do, because in my DNA as a person, as a business person, is to help other people be successful. I don't feel successful unless I'm helping other people be successful. That's who I am. And so I have defined it very clearly about that. So when I'm doing that and I'm helping people, it doesn't matter, what other things can be going around. I feel successful because I'm helping the right people in the right way.
Yeah, and I see that clearly in your book and the things that, like just to give people an idea, of what they can expect from the book, and then I'll have you tell them how they can get a copy of it. But, success is easy is sort of the name of every chapter, and then there's a follow. So it says, success is easy with a plan for growth. Chapter 15, success is easy with change and reinvention, which, by the way, I love that you use that word because I also believe in reinvention.
Yes.
People run from that, but I think it's the key to success. I'm with you. People need to constantly reinvent, and those who are slow to change and reinvent, I think, get passed up. But I won't give too much of that away because you talk about that a little bit in your book here. So success is easy with persistence and commitment. Success is easy. This is the one I would love a little more insight from you on. Success is easy as you master the art of influence, because I believe that as well, that in the world today, especially right now, I've always said you can't build a business in isolation. And now truly people are being isolated. So how has your network and the art of influence helped success be easy for you? And then also tell people how they can get a copy of this amazing book.
Well, I was this shy, geeky kid who had never imagined, I would be a speaker, much less an influencer, right? And a worldwide influencer and speaking all over the, 28 countries, doing everything I've done. I just, because I followed the path of wanting to be the, person that was supported. And so I became an influencer by giving what I care about, which is helping people be successful. 25 years ago, my very first speaking engagement was like, I just wanted to help people be successful. I didn't know there was a career in it. I felt that I had, been handed some good opportunities, and I wanted to have other people be handed those opportunities as well. And so, it's just follow the path of, the influences being now we can be Instagram influencers, we can be, social media influencers. It's, gone bigger. Basically where I started my influence was a stage. Professional speaking was my influence stage. And then books became my another influencer, where you're actually putting something out there that is impacting people's lives at a bigger level and internationally as well. I didn't plan on going internationally to so many countries, but when the economy crashed in 2008, talk about reinvention, Chaz. Yes. I'm like the queen of reinvention. I'm like, hey, there's no business in the United States. But there's a big world out there. So I started traveling and how do you show up and say, hey, I'm in Australia and I want to speak and I want to get paid? Well, because I just said I'm going to be in Australia in 3 months from now and I would love to be there. So now they don't have the expense of travel. So it's easy to say I could bring an international expert over who has influence and I can have her on my stage. Well, I wasn't planning on going there. But now that I'm there,
you set the intention.
Get another booking, another booking. So this is where you got to think differently. So success is easy when you think differently, when you think outside of the norm, when you become a true leader and you can pivot, like Chaz was saying, pivot or reinvent. That was my hardest reinvention, the 2008 crisis. Yeah. When this pandemic hit, I reinvented within 1 week. Like, bam, I was virtual. I was on it. I was reaching out to joint venture partners, people that I could connect with, and build a mutual, influence.
So you were networking. You were reaching out to the people in your network and then expanding your network. It's interesting, a theme, and I hope for those of you listening, I hope you really pay attention to this. I thought there was something interesting that I've noticed with the guests that I've had on my podcast. For those who went through 2008, 2009, 2010 in business, and for many of them, the stories are all different, but there's some similarities of whether it be lost a business, reinvented, started something new. It was the same for us. That when the pandemic came, I noticed those individuals reinvented and pivoted, like you said, within a week. Where some were like sitting and waiting to watch what happened. Those who went through 2008 said, oh, no. I've been through something like this before. Now, none of us have been through pandemic like this. But they knew what was going to happen in the economy and started to shift and make things happen fast. And so for those of you watching this, I think it's a good lesson to learn, as we come through another side of this, to go, man, anytime something like this happens, go, I remember the pandemic. I remember when I went through this, and to move quick. I think one of the biggest mistakes is people who move slow through this.
When you see what everybody else is doing, then they jump on. I think it's a best time now to reach out to people that you think, well, maybe they wouldn't talk to me because maybe they're too busy or they're too successful, or I didn't have time before because I was so busy. And so as soon as that hit, I belonged to a big network that was based out of New York. And there was a whole list of people that were in this high level. You had to be invited in.
Yes.
Invited in, you pay a ton of money, like, massive thousands of dollars. And then you have to do your own thing. You have to network, basically.
Yep.
And so there was a few people there that I wanted to connect with. And I didn't have time when I was in New York. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I have time because there's like this space, right?
Yep.
And so one of them I reached out to, she does events, and I've been doing events for 15 years myself. And she does big women's conferences. And so I reached out to her. I said, let's set up a Zoom call, because this is a way you want to network when you can't be with somebody. You're not going out for coffee. You can reach for people anywhere. She lives in Toronto, and bam, we're right here. We can have coffee right here on Zoom. And now we're building a business together. So the conversation was just going to be simple, like, hey, let me throw you something, you throw me something back.
Yes.
Like, I have an opportunity. Be on my stage, I'll be on your stage, and some opportunities like this and podcasts. And then she's like, well, wait, you've been doing events for 15 years? Yeah. And you did events all over the world? Yeah. Basically, when there was no business, I just showed up at events and then spoke and then sold a program. And I did this for 3 years to survive. And I sold a $5,000 program. Then I sold a $10,000 program. Then I sold a $20,000 program. I learned it. I learned a whole new skill. And she's just like, oh my gosh, she said, and you're really well influenced and connected in the US. Would you consider running my entire US organization and opening up all the chapters, similar to kind of Masters Network in a way that we have chapters, right? From that one call that we started in April, now we have 6 chapters in the US. I'm her US lead, and we're launching it. We'll have 100 members in the US by probably the first part of next year.
Good for you.
And that was just from a call. Like, let's just reach out, right?
You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Hey, before I neglect again, how can people get a copy of this? How can
Amazon sells books. Do you know that, Chaz?
Yeah.
Right? Amazon.com. You'll find it there everywhere. It's on Audible. It's on Kindle. It's on everything.
Okay.
My publisher is Entrepreneur Magazine, Dream Publisher. That just happened so easy too.
Good for
they actually
you.
bought the book from an idea on a phone call, 20 minutes.
Wow.
So don't think that your ideas sometimes aren't amazing. But that was through another person who was connected, who was influential with entrepreneurs. So sometimes these connections make things happen fast.
So true. How can people connect with you, follow you? They love your message. They want to learn more. How can they find you?
Okay, all they have to do is go to debbieallen.com. Remember the name, right? DEBBIEALLEN.com. When you're on there, you're going to find a free gift. It's called Client Attraction Success with Ease. It's a 30-page action guide that tells you my 7 top marketing strategies to attract clients. And then there's an evergreen webinar you can watch on there. So it's a great way to come and follow me. And I do virtual seminars almost every single month that they can watch for free.
So thank you for that, Debbie. As we wrap here, what would be something right now, especially in this the conditions of the economy right now, what's one piece of advice you would give entrepreneurs of really from solopreneur to, maybe they got 8 or 10 employees, something that you're teaching people right now that they can go do to make an impact and move towards this path of success to make it easier for them? What would that advice be?
Well, first we'll start with clicking into saying, this is a great opportunity.
Yes.
This is a wonderful time. This is giving us space to look at our businesses and say, what is working for us? What is not working? What can I let go of? What can I expand upon? Now that I have space, what else would I be doing to add another income stream, another service, another opportunity? Who would I reach out to that I wouldn't have before? So this space is a gift. And when you look at this space as a gift and get creative with it, you will do amazing things at this time, because the majority of people are not looking at it as a gift and they're waiting for things to turn around, and it's not going to turn around tomorrow. And yes, things are going to be different, but it's opened up a lot of new opportunities. So what opportunities have it opened for you, and what can you do to improve right now? What new skills can you learn so that you're better when you come out of this?
It's so good. Like so many would like just saying, well, I can't wait till it gets back. It may not in your industry in specifics, right? Things may be changing. You got to move on it and look at the opportunities for what they are. Debbie, great advice, great interview. Time always goes so fast. Like we just get to this like boom, like, so we'll have to do a part 2, I think, down the road here. Guys, go to Amazon, get Success is Easy. Go to debbieallen.com. We'll put the link here in the show notes. And read this book. So many great things in here. For many of you Master Networks of the Master Networks family, you're going to see some similarities of things. I mean, hey, great minds think alike, that's for sure. But secondly, you're also going to see some things in some different perspective on some of the same topics. And I love the way you break down not only Success is Easy, but the way that you break it down here in this book. So Debbie, such a privilege to have you on Connect, Share, Prosper today. Thank you for being our guest today on the show.
My pleasure. Always. I look forward to all of you being more successful and supporting you as much as I can. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, guys, remember, every Monday, noon Central, on the Master Networks Facebook page, we bring you successful people like Debbie who are going to share the successes, the challenges, and listen, she shared some great wisdom today with us of some things we can do right away. And look, the bottom line is success is easy. Success is easy when we get out of our own way, when we stop being the chokehold of our own business and our own life, and we say, look, success is easy. It comes to me easily. The people that can help me come to me easily, those kinds of things. And when you really move in that direction, success truly is easy. So Appreciate that message today. Until next time, guys, next Monday, we'll see you on Connect, Share, Prosper. Be well.
Stop hoping for your business to grow and start mastering the formula for success that every entrepreneur needs to grow their business. Join us for 5+1 Mastery, where every week we go in depth on how to grow your business the right way. Learn more at 5+1mastery.com.